Hello everyone and welcome to the newest episode of Wahconah Weekly.
Though this is our last week before the holidays, we are certainly not short on stories. We'd also like to introduce a new host, Josh Fletcher.
Hello. I have details on the most recent Spirit Week alongside some other events at Wahconah.
I will tell you about how the Latin Club caroled at a local seniors home.
I have the details about the recent winter concert.
And I have a spotlight with the guidance counselors to talk about, alongside some sports updates. Let's get into this week's news.
This week, Tribe held their annual holiday-themed Spirit Week. This followed the pep rally on last Friday. The first day was Holiday Sock Day on Monday, which would have been followed by Ugly Sweater Day on Tuesday if there hadn't been a snow day to interrupt things. In spite of this, a few people still wore their ugly sweaters on Wednesday, which was technically Decade Day, in which people would wear particular styles associated with particular decades. The next day on Thursday was the student favorite Comfy Cozy Day, which was essentially a pajama day, and finally the week ended off with a returning Holiday Character Day. This Spirit Week had a good turnout and added some excitement to the last week of school just before break. Also this week there were a few smaller activities. Firstly, Green Umbrella has been able to bring back the compost bin to the cafeteria, something which was unable to be used after last year until very recently. To raise awareness for composting, Green Umbrella spread the news in various English classes and taught students the details of composting and why it is beneficial. They then added an incentive for it during lunches by holding a raffle. The raffle worked by having students spin a wheel and answer a question. If they answered correctly, they received a ticket. The winner of the raffle would then receive a gift card. We fully support Green Umbrella in their efforts, and we encourage any sort of environmentally conscious activities. On the topic of service, the National Honor Society has been setting their members out on their individual service projects. These vary in their focuses and are decided on and led by the members themselves. Many students will likely be posting about their work and looking for help. There will be several projects going on simultaneously, and we suggest that you help them if you are able to, whether by donating to them or by working alongside them.
This Friday, the Latin Club went to carol at Sugar Hill, a Dalton-based home for seniors. This is their second year of doing this, and they were excited to do it once more. The students read to those at Sugar Hill and sang numerous carols, from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to O Come All Ye Faithful. Mr. Bradshaw played the piano and accepted requests from those listening. There was also a reading by Lucas Walsh of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It was good to see people at Wahconah spreading holiday cheer to those who others may not pay attention to.
On Wednesday night, the Wahconah Band and Chorus performed in their winter concert. Led by Miss Hoffman, the choir performed several songs, such as Carol of the Bells, The Lights of Hanukkah, and White Christmas, among others. Shane Haley performed a solo piece during Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Then the band, conducted by Mr. Rabuse, played several songs, included Cyclone, In Dreams to Brushstrokes, and Inventium. Soloists included Piper Filio, Elizabeth Crook, Casey Wilson, John Cibula, and Emily Pyers. The show was enjoyable, as it usually is, and we'd like to congratulate the chorus and band on a job well done. If you want to view the show, you can see it on the DC TV YouTube channel. It is also in the description below.
This week, we decided to give a spotlight to the Wahconah guidance counselors, considering the many seniors applying for college currently and juniors who will do so within the future. We talked to them about scholarships in particular and their advice on the subject. I'll hand it over to Alex to talk to the counselors.
Hi, I'm here with Miss Grady and Mr. Andersen, and we're talking about scholarship opportunities today. When do you think people should start applying for these scholarships?
Typically, students can start anytime. Some scholarships are available to students during their junior year. So juniors who are interested can do scholarship searches, which I believe we'll talk about in a little bit. And seniors can start anytime in their senior year. Most scholarships are available to seniors, and so the scholarship companies and the folks who write the checks for the scholarships typically want to work with one cohort of students at a time. And so anytime during the senior year, preferably after the college applications are completed, so that students don't get too caught up and overwhelmed by the entire process.
One new program that's out there is called Raise Me, and that is a scholarship program that has just started, and that's for students. They can start as early as freshman year in terms of filling out the Raise Me profile. So it's called raise.me. You would Google that, and you can learn more information about that if you're interested.
What can people use to find scholarships? Like, what search engines are available?
Thank you. One thing before we mention some of the search engines that's important to remember is that there are a lot of scams out there, as with many other products that are available. So please be careful in what scholarships you apply for. Anyone that asks for your social security number, for example, that is not a good place to follow through on. You should never be giving out your social security number for a scholarship opportunity. And so you want to be very careful that you're vetting. And so we do have some sites that we recommend. Naviance is a platform that we use, and they have a very good scholarship search engine, in addition to the fact that we post scholarships that we learn of through our guidance associations with the scholarships that are available out there. And then I'll let Mr. Andersen fill you in on some of the other ones that are out there.
I would ditto what Mrs. Grady just said about Naviance. That's a great resource for students from freshman year to senior year to use. So if you don't remember your username or password and would like to use Naviance, come to your guidance counselor and we will help you to get relinked up for it. Our district pays for that, and it's a very good resource for you to use. The other ones that come to mind for me are the College Board. So when you're filling out College Board information, when you're taking the PSAT or when you're registering for the SAT, there's also scholarship search engines associated with that you can use that are good. There is FastWeb. That's a free service as well. Just Google FastWeb, and that will give you some good things. And a student last year told me about a website called CapEx, and I was impressed with that. And that's CAPPEX.com. And I was impressed with that service as well.
So I would also like to add that when you do these scholarship searches, there are often some pretty funky scholarships out there. I was the duct tape scholarship, which is given to students for having the best prom outfits made completely from duct tape. So there are a number of different scholarships available, and they may depend on what your parents did for a living, where your family is as far as are you a first-generation college student. So there's lots of different ways that you can apply for different scholarships. So we recommend that students do a complete search and see which scholarships they are available for, and to follow through on making your scholarship applications.
What other types of scholarships are there? Like, what makes each one unique as well?
Many of the scholarships, much of the money that comes from scholarships comes directly from the college that you end up attending. And so that scholarship money is typically based on your grades that you've earned in high school. Some people think that they're going to get a big sports scholarship, and that's not often true in the world today. That most scholarship money that comes from colleges directly is based on what you've been able to accomplish in your community and in your classrooms. And so those are typically merit-based scholarships. And then there are other scholarships that, I'll talk about the scholarships that are class night scholarships. Those are specific to each school. So for example, around the end of February, our seniors receive a brochure in their homeroom that tells us about each of the scholarships that will be given out at class night and how they can apply for them and what the qualifications are for them to earn those scholarships. But then there's a number of other community scholarships that Mr. Andersen will fill you in on.
So the other thing that is available are what are called need-based scholarships. And usually you can find out about need-based scholarships by completing the FAFSA. And what I mean by need-based scholarships are, do you have a financial need? So that would mean you may be income eligible for a certain scholarship. Some that come to mind for me locally, the Berkshire Bank Scholarship comes to mind, the Chang Chafkin Scholarship. So those are two need-based scholarships that come to mind for me that are local. And going back to the FAFSA, when you fill out your FAFSA form, you can get information about other scholarship opportunities through the school that you're applying to that they will give you information on.
So, Mr. Andersen, on the topic of local scholarships, are there any other scholarships in the Berkshires you'd like to talk about?
The other one that I didn't mention is through the Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation. They are an excellent organization located in South County that help Berkshire residents find local scholarships. So they have a website that you can look at. Just Google Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation. They will have you complete a login process. All the applications are for that program are done online. You'll create a username and password, and by completing a short survey, they will give you a full list of scholarships that you would be eligible to apply for that are Berkshire-based scholarships. Mrs. Grady wanted to follow up.
Thank you. And so read your emails, seniors and juniors. We will be sending emails as scholarship applications become available in Berkshire County as well. And one final thing that I'd like everyone to know is that we are very grateful for all of the generous benefactors who write checks every year so that our students can continue their education. It is always very touching to myself and the other members of our scholarship community that people find that your education and your future and the future of our community is important enough that they'll write checks anywhere from $100 to thousands of dollars to help make sure that you reach your goal. So we really appreciate this opportunity to be able to get the word out there.
One final thing I wanted to mention as well, it's really important that if you do and when you do receive a scholarship to make a note of that to the people who provided the scholarship for you, and that would be to write a thank you note to them. We always recommend that you provide the old-fashioned written thank you note for the benefactors that provide the scholarship for you. It's very important.
Okay, I think we're all set. Thank you both for talking to us about scholarships today.
We'd like to thank Mrs. Grady and Mr. Andersen for speaking to us this week, and we recommend that any seniors take a look at the sources and scholarships they mentioned. We will also include some places to search for scholarships in the description of this episode for any of those interested. This week in sports, in hockey last Thursday, Wahconah defeated Drury 4-1 in their season opener. Mike Cullett proved to be a front-runner in this game, scoring one of the goals and assisting on the other three. Owen Kraboth also proved to be a front-runner alongside Mike, scoring as well. Ryan LaPierre, who scored the third goal, assisted in the game as well, followed by Ernie Lampron, who scored seconds after LaPierre. Later on Saturday, the Wahconah Icers won yet again over Chicopee Comp in a 5-1 victory. Kraboth and Mason Alfonso each earned themselves 2 goals, with LaPierre setting up 3 goals and Jake Risley stopping 19 shots on net. And then on Wednesday, Wahconah beat Amherst 3-0, where Risley stopped over 30 shots to earn the shutout victory, with Cullett scored one of the goals. In basketball, the Wahconah girls lost to Pittsfield in their first live action of the season, 34-40. Noelle Furlong led Wahconah with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 assists, and a block, while Olivia Gambaroni had 10 points as well with an additional 4 rebounds and steals. And Juli Keiper scored 9 points and had 6 rebounds. And later on Monday, the girls came back for their first win of the season over Frontier, 54-28. Furlong led yet again with 23 points, 5 of which were 3-pointers, with Gambaroni earning 10 points and Keiper 8. In bowling, Wahconah took a 2-1 decision behind Alex White and Amber Wood. Wood earned the top series among the girls in the Berkshire County High School Bowling League, being the 3rd best overall with a 220-202 or 422. And White had the 3rd best series among the boys with 197-182 or 379. And later on, the Wahconah Gray squad beat Mount Greylock 3-0.
Those are our stories for this week. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you did, be sure to leave a like and share this episode. You can subscribe to the Dalton Community TV YouTube channel to keep up with our content.
You can also keep up with us on social media, linked in the description. There is a survey in which you can fill out to make suggestions for us and give us stories you're interested in.
Thank you for watching this episode. This has been Lucas, Zach, Josh, and Julie bringing you Wahconah Weekly. We hope you join us after the holidays, which we will be taking a hiatus during. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Happy holidays!
holidays!
Happy holidays!